I remember sitting at a very young age with my cousin Debbie and our mothers and our grandmother in the church pews in the sanctuary. Sometimes Debbie and I would get a bit loud and we'd end up being separated. But usually we were fairly well behaved. Like any kids, sitting still and remaining quiet was challenging. I don't know when I actually began listening to the sermons, but I figure I've heard close to 2,500 sermons preached in the sanctuary at St. Paul's. I like to think that these have had a big impact on my beliefs, my values, and my behavior. But the church services are only a part of my faith journey. I can reflect on so much more that I've experienced through my involvement at St. Paul's. Sunday school as a student, and then later as a leader, Daily Vacation Bible School, youth group, serving on church council, being a part of pastoral search committees, helping with the capital campaign and all the projects that resulted from the campaign, and the weddings and life celebrations. But some of my favorite memories include what some might call the non-religious events. I jotted down a few here that I want to share. Youth group handball games in the fellowship hall, 8+ mile hikes to North Fork, camping out there, where we once made our own sassafras tea from boiling the tree roots, and we ate frog legs cooked over a campfire, sleeping in the old schoolhouse or out on the ground and waking up with snow covering our sleeping bags, pouring the concrete slab for North Fork Pavilion and installing the metal roofing. There were some bruised thumbs from that experience. Helping my dad tear down the old church parsonage. Work parties, pirate baseball games, fish fries, pancakes and staffato dinners organized by the Men's Brotherhood. Spaghetti dinners and game nights put on by our Sunday school class, and the Good Friday Tenebrae services and gatherings that followed those services. The children's and youth choirs performances, and of course the many covered dish dinners. These only touch on some of my experiences at St. Paul's, and I'm sure that many of you have your versions of these memories and many, many more of your own. But one of the biggest rewards in my life has been the very many relationships and friendships that have come from the fellowship that has taken place at St. Paul's. And it's comforting to know that we're going to keep adding to our experiences and we're going to make new memories together beginning today.
For 75 years, I attended St. Paul's United Church of Christ. When I began, it was the old German church. During this period of time, we had 5 ministers who took care of our congregation. And then we had our 6th minister, Pastor Matt. After he completed his studies for the ministry, he spoke at Jay Schaefer's church. And Max and I were there that Sunday to hear him. When he was done speaking, Max said to me, "I like him. I think he'd be a good fit." And he certainly has been. I was confirmed, baptized in this church. Max and I were married in this church. Our son Jeff and daughter Susan were baptized and confirmed in this church, and participated and enjoyed many of the church activities during their school years. Our grandson Zach was baptized and confirmed in the church. He sang in Marcy's choir and was a member of the youth group that Pastor Matt took to West Virginia to work on a trailer. Max was a very dedicated person for the church and for the members, and he served them well. I served in a different way than Max. I was a member of consistory. I served on that. I taught Sunday school, and I was in charge of the kitchen for a couple years. But after retiring from teaching, probably one of my greatest joys was joining St. Paul's Quilters, where I made many beautiful quilts. This church is my home, and the congregation is my church family.
Hi, this is Mike Boyer. When I first started attending St. Paul's UCC Church, Glenn Sadler was our pastor, and he was a wonderful pastor. He and his wife Arlene were wonderful people. and I really felt comfortable with Pastor Glenn up at the pulpit. Then we made a change, and Pastor Glenn retired. We had an interim pastor, and then we brought on Pastor Matt Deal. Matt had some big shoes to fill, and let me tell you, he's done a phenomenal job, which makes me very, very happy and very proud to be part of St. Paul's UCC. The congregation is so friendly and caring. It's one big family, and I'm very, very proud to be part of that family. They care. They truly care. As wonderful church people of St. Paul's UCC, they're very active. They're quick to talk to you. They're quick to ask how you're doing. There's just a genuine caring there. The church's missions and outreach have been phenomenal. It makes you very proud to be part of an organization, religious organization that is doing wonderful things like they do in our Imagination Library. That in itself is phenomenal. Providing books to young children, and we really, really are proud of that as a congregation, and I think that's a wonderful thing. And then annually, around Christmas time, Marcy Schellenberger leads our children's play, which is such a phenomenally well done play, makes you laugh, entertains you, and makes you feel very proud about the kids that are in our church. It is a wonderful church to believe in. I'm a very, very proud St. Paul's UCC member.
So my St. Paul story, it starts with me because I moved here not knowing Josh, and I was looking for a church. I was raised Presbyterian. I was open to whatever, just looking at any Protestant church in the area. I went to a couple, nothing against any other church in the area, but nothing clicked. And I actually have to credit Susan DePasquale with this. I told her I was looking for a church, and she said, well, you know, my cousin Matt is the pastor at St. Paul's UCC. You should check it out. And then she also said, there's a first grade teacher in this district named Marcy Schellenberger, who is like a pillar of that church, and you would love Marcy. Like, the two of you get along. I think you need to check it out. I said, okay. And so I went, and it was literally the friendliest church service I had ever been to. And I loved it, and people came up and talked to me and introduced themselves, and I didn't feel like an outsider, because when I moved to Somerset, I did feel like a little bit of an outsider. I'm not from here, so it was really nice to be welcomed, and the rest, as you say, really is history. And I just love how welcoming St. Paul's is, and I know that sounds really cliche, but it's true. And then Josh came into the picture.
My St. Paul's story starts with meeting Angie about 7 or 8 years ago, and at the time I was kind of playing handbell choir tag with other churches.
As you do.
I was originally going to a United Methodist church, which is what my family did growing up, and then I moved to Westmont, and I was kind of going back and forth between a few churches that really needed handbell players. Dave, this is not an open call to start a handbell player. I'm a little handbell. Okay, that's fine. For the kids. So Westmont Presbyterian was asking me things, and then I met Angie, and she was going to this church in Somerset that I didn't know, and we kind of talked when we started dating. It's like, hey, what are you doing Sunday morning? It's like, well, I'm going here. It's like, well, I'm going here. So I started coming with church to her, and I instantly loved it from the services that I was at the beginning.
I went to church once.
Yeah, very quickly, Matt and Brian Lohr realized we were musicians and started putting us in the service a lot, but it was also such a friendly, inviting church to come to. And
even you, Phyllis.
And everybody's very, just very welcoming and down to earth with the way we talk about everything.
Hi, I'm Emily Corns, and this is my St. Paul's story. I've been a member of St. Paul's for about 11 years. I know it's been 11 years because I joined when my oldest son, Alex, was just a baby. And we would come to St. Paul's for church with my grandfather, Richard Hogger, who was not a member of the church, but he was a big fan of the church. He was a funeral director in town, and St. Paul's was always one of his favorite churches. He loved to go there and visit to hear the piano and listen to the choir, and we had friends that went there as well. So that's how we started going to St. Paul's. Also, it's a community and a church that just fit my beliefs and kind of my moral code, and it's always been a nice fit for me and my family. So my kids have been involved in children's choir and playgroup. We built lots of friendships. I've been on the council, on my second round of council, and I just consider my St. Paul's family an extended part of my real family. It's so important to me that I even make it part of our giving each month. I just do an auto gift to St. Paul's because I know that the money is going to good places, doing good things in the community, and that's important to me, all of the service work that we do. I love being a member of St. Paul's. I like being a leader on the church council at St. Paul's. I love that my kids have been growing up in St. Paul's, and I hope we're around for another 225 years.
Hi, my name is Carol Wilson. St. Paul's UCC has been my home church since 1974. I think through the years, my involvement with different positions and committees, being deacon and elder, and the people that I have worked with and worshiped with and shared their joys and their sorrows has all helped me grow in my faith journey. St. Paul's was formed in faith and founded by the people, and I am so humbled and grateful for all the years that I have been in this church. And by the grace of God, I hope to have a few more years. Amen.